What is going on, health enthusiasts? Back with another video. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Today we are talking about intermittent fasting. Okay, you guys may have heard of it, you guys may have not heard of it. We're going to talk a little bit about this. Also, this will be a talking head video. All of my results that I've had through myself, I have 1 year of intermittent fasting. I've gone through that just recently. From throughout the pandemic of 2020 can all be seen in the video that I'm gonna have down below. In the video that I have down below that you'll see here, it is actually my 1 year story on me going through the pandemic and me losing weight and me getting in shape, and I have a 1 year journey on that. So be sure to check out specific results when it comes to how my body transformed. It was a monthly cycle. It's a 9-minute video, super short video. Check it out if you want to see specifically how my body changed with fitness and things of that nature. But throughout the process, my dieting was, I had intermittent fasting is what I went through. Today's video, we're just going to be talking specifically about what intermittent fasting is, my experience with it for the year, and what I recommend for you. So if you guys don't know intermittent fasting, this is a process where it's essentially a timed window. Always think of it as a timed window. You have a certain window where you can eat, and then you have a certain window where you can't. It's that simple. Intermittent fasting, they have certain windows throughout the 24-hour period. So you might hear someone say, hey, I'm doing a 18 by 6 or a 16 by 8, or a 12 by 12. What that essentially means is the amount of time that they're not eating and the amount of time that they are able to eat. The trick with intermittent fasting that a lot of people think is it's a disciplined type of diet. The reason why it's a disciplined type of diet is you have to be disciplined in only eating in that said window. And for me, and I think a lot of people, it's always tough those first couple weeks, right? Because those first couple weeks, your body's obviously not used to it. It's like, what the hell's going on? So after those few weeks though, I started having more energy. Once my body learned, hey, I'm not gonna be eating at this time, it starts finding other ways to survive, as your body does. The typical frostbite situation. The reason why your limbs, your hands and your feet get frostbite first was because your body becomes a defense mechanism, protects everything that's vital, like your heart, like your organs and things like that, and it disposes of things that it might not need at the time, like your hands and your feet. Same thing with intermittent fasting at a much more non-serious level. Your body will find a way to burn what it needs to burn, and in this situation, from when you're not eating in those windows, it's gonna burn certain fats and things of that nature. Another thing with intermittent fasting is always remember it's a discipline. It helps people lose weight, and it does work because you essentially, it's a psychological game as well too. And when I say it's psychological, for instance, I primarily did a 16 by 8 hour window where I ate nothing for 16 hours and then I ate within that 8 hour window. Now, before I get into the psychological game, let me actually explain intermittent fasting for those people, the actual process, what you do. So, and it depends on people, your diet and what you want to eat. But essentially the rules are you can only have water or even coffee. People allow coffee, but for true fasting, I would recommend only water. You can also take certain pre-workouts throughout that fasting window. Do research and make sure your pre-workout either won't activate your insulin levels. But essentially, with the window that I did, I specifically only had straight water and then pre-workout. So the next thing is diet-wise. Diet-wise, guys, understand that whatever you're looking forward to in your diet, that's what you're going to eat within that window. Some people have a keto fast, some people have, obviously, if you're fasting, for most people, I would recommend fasting for weight loss. I really wouldn't recommend fasting if you're trying to build muscle or get bigger, of course, because it's a lot harder to do. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder to do, obviously. But this is primarily going to help for people that are losing weight. Now, back to the psychological standpoint. Psychological standpoint is, understanding that when you only have a certain amount of time you can eat and you're disciplined to that window of time, you don't eat as much. That's kind of the main premise of this whole thing. Like, it's that simple. If within your 8 or 10 hour window, whatever window you choose, you eat 20,000 calories, or I'm sorry, 20,000 calories. You're not a Michael Phelps or anything like that. But if you eat 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 calories, at the end of the day, it's still going to be 4,000, 3,000, 2,000 calories, regardless if you eat it in that window or if you eat it throughout the day. Calories in, calories out, right? The trick with intermittent fasting is essentially what happens is if you're disciplined with your 8 hour or 6 hour window, you're eating less and your body's eating less. And that's one of the main things to it is by you just strictly eating less, your body is going to be losing weight. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but like it's as simple as that. Like you eating less in that by having restricted windows and you being disciplined, only eating in those restricted windows, you will lose weight. Now my process, I actually intermittent fasted for a full year. And throughout that time frame, I actually began to lose weight very quickly, very rapidly, to the point where it's almost getting too bad for me. And I took more of an extreme approach where I strictly, like I said, I only had water in that window. I was very disciplined. I would say throughout the year, there was probably an amount of occasions that I can count on my hand where I actually did not intermittent fast, where I would take it as a cheat day or I just wouldn't care. And I was like, I'm going to eat what I want today. So it was probably only about 5 or 6 times throughout that whole year. Now, throughout the process, what I can say is when it comes to intermittent fasting, you guys need to understand it's a long haul game. When I was intermittent fasting, I went through the process of I was losing so much fat to the point where it was becoming a little bit unhealthy for me, and me trying to build muscle, it just wasn't something that I was really interested in doing anymore. So for me, it worked like very well. I did intermittent fasting and I ran, and that like destroyed a lot of my fat. So, and made me lose a lot of weight very quickly. Now, personally for myself, I'm in the process of now bulking and gaining muscle. But intermittent fasting, absolutely, it works. And I would say if you want to try this out, I would recommend it. Absolutely. Is this for you? Now, it depends on your weight. It depends on your situation. It depends what you're trying to do. But I would definitely recommend intermittent fasting. Like I said, try it for at least 3 months. Don't give up the first month because it's very hard the first month. I can tell you that. It is like hell the first month. And it depends on the window that you do too. I would recommend do a 12 by 12, eat in a 12-hour window, spread that out throughout the 12 hours. So you have a meal right at the start of your 12-hour window, right at the end of your 12-hour window, right in the middle, maybe 3 or 4 meals, whatever you want to do, whatever calories you want to intake. Do your calorie research, figure out if you need to do 2,000, if you want to do 3,000, whatever the case is, okay? That's going to be on you guys. But it will work if you are disciplined and you put your mind to it and you stay consistent with it. It is legit. Just understand the properties, the basics of intermittent fasting. Now, if you're trying to lose fat, if you're trying to lose weight, it is good. If you're trying to build muscle, it's not very good, guys. It's just not. And then the progress that you had intermittent fasting, then you have to, you're going to lose muscle as well. If it's very extreme, it's very tough to juggle both. So there you go, guys. Also, like I said, if you want to see my progress throughout the intermittent fasting, like I said, this was just a talking head video, but check out the video that I have down below. That is my full story, my whole weight loss journey. I fasted for the full year there, so you guys can see my month-to-month progression. So check it out. More fitness, more news. Any other fitness questions you guys have, post down in the comments below. Stay hungry, keep grinding, and we're doing this together, baby. So let's go. Later, guys.